Okay, guys, so can you type yes in the chat box if you can hear my voice and are ready to start? Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. So, hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and today in this webinar, we're going to speak about how to improve your technology use in the classroom. The webinar will be about 1 hour long, and there will be some questions and answers as well at the end. Before we start, I'd like you to do a few things. I'd like you to put your phone in silent mode, or preferably turn it off. I'd like you to log off Facebook, log off Instagram, log off any other social media, and have a pen and paper and be ready to take out of notes, because I want you to get the most out of this webinar. So I want you to not be distracted and to be focused on the things that we're going to be covering today. This is the agenda for today. So, quick introduction. I'll explain briefly about who I am and what I do here at EF. Number two, why you should listen to what I'm saying. Number three, the why. Why use technology in the classroom? Number four, various technological methods that you can use in your in your classroom, whether you are an EF teacher or not. So I'm going to be going over some EF-based solutions and some non-EF based solutions. And finally, there will be a question and answers session. Before we begin, I just want to say a quick thank you for being here. I want to say thank you for you deciding to spend the next 60 minutes here with me, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm sure that what you will take from this webinar will be beneficial for your specific situation. So I'm going to be giving you some ideas about how to use it based on the students that you teach. Let's get started. So at this moment, I know some people are chatting in the chat box. All you should be seeing is a slide with a white background that says, let's get started. And there's a student in a picture on the left. That is what you should be seeing at this very moment. So who am I? My name is Kevin. As I said before, I'm an academic manager here at EF Malta, and I started working at EF 10 years ago. I was a teacher, and I've taught both in Malta and abroad in a number of different countries. Till now, I would say I've taught thousands of students, and I've also managed a big group of teachers here in Malta. And in these pictures, you can see a couple of pictures from the school in Malta and from Malta itself. We get students that come in different periods of the year. So the bulk of the students come in summer when the weather is at its best, and they also enjoy Malta and the various activities that you can do here on the island. Apart from that, there are also students that are here all year round. So we cater for a different number of students with different interests. So there are some that are teenagers, there are some that are adult students. So we cater our lessons towards the different kinds of students and their specific needs. One thing that is always common is the use of technology in the classroom, because we believe that with technology, we can get the students to be more active, more engaged, and ultimately they learn better and retain what they learn for a longer period of time. And that is what ultimately we want our students to do. We want them to come here to enjoy the time, to get a great experience, and to be able to use the language, to use the English that they learn outside and after their English course. Why should you listen to what I'm going to say? That is the question that I'd like to answer before we get started. So this webinar is about you and how you can use technology in your classroom. It's about you, not about me. So the points I'm going to cover will be able to help you to do just that. Throughout the webinar, I'll be asking you questions that you'll be able to answer by typing into the chat box. So I'd like you to stay alert, to stay focused, and to answer throughout the webinar by writing the answers in the chat box. The first question I would like to address is why technology? Because that's the first question that you need to answer in order to make technology part of your daily teaching. And the way I see technology is that technology is only a tool. It's not the destination, it's part of the journey. But by itself, it's only a tool. And by itself, it will not substitute for an unprepared teacher. So if you are not prepared, if you are not ready to teach the lesson and know exactly what you want the students to achieve by the end of the lesson, it will not be of any use for you or for your students. It will only lead to better results if you know how to use it and you use it to your advantage with a goal in mind. So those are the main points. Better results only if you use it well, you use it to your advantage, and you have a goal in mind. But you still need to be very well prepared for the lesson that you're going to be giving. Perfect, guys. Keep the engagement up. I like it. I agree with you. Yes, I agree. Me too. Perfect. And before we really get into it, I also want to cover who technology is not for. So who is it not for? And I have three categories of people that should not use technology. The first are the close-minded individuals who think that they cannot improve their teaching anymore. They've reached a certain level and they think that their teaching cannot go above that, cannot get better than that. The second is, or are the individuals who think that all technology is very hard to use in every situation. There are people that I can personally think of that when you mention the word technology to them, they automatically freeze. They say, no, technology is not for me, it's too hard, it's too difficult. Technology is not for these people because you do need to have some kind of or some level of open-mindedness towards trying something new. And individuals who think that technology will deliver lessons without any preparation from their side. As I mentioned before, you still need to have goals and aims that you want to achieve by the end of the lesson. If you just go into class without any of these, technology will be of no use to you or to your students. But for the individual, for the teacher that has a goal in mind, technology will help you to get there faster and better. All right, so let's get really started. And to start off, we're going to be looking at some EF-based technology. Now, what this means is that the following tools I'm going to be mentioning, for some of them, it is only for students that are engaged, that are enrolled in an EF course. However, I will also give you ideas how you can take the same ideas, the same technology used by EF, and adapt it towards your students. And we'll start with this EF class. And to better explain how this works, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So, give me 1 second so I can share my screen with you to better explain. Okay, so at this moment, you should be seeing my screen on yours. You should be seeing Discover on a green background, and then Lessons, Courses, Skills. Can you type? I can see it in the chat box if you can. Yes, I can see it. I can see it. All right, perfect. So this is EF class. It is a software that EF have developed, and it is done once a week, so on a weekly basis with students in class. The teacher brings laptops to the classroom, gives them to the students, and for the duration of that lesson, the students use these laptops to carry out the lesson. As you can see, there are different topics based on the different needs. So weekly lessons, the first lesson that comes up is probably about politics or speech, and it's a listening lesson. So the skill that the lesson focuses on is listening. There are different lessons. Bonfire night, can I try the blue shirt? Focus on reading, focus on speaking, and at different levels. So there's a B2 lesson, C1 lesson. It's for higher level students, intermediate students with the reading. And there are also editorial picks, trending topics. Let's just open one to give you an example. This is called Crazy Lawsuits. As you can see, it has 13 activities in it. So as the teacher, I would be able to click on that and see what the lesson aims are. In this case, it's about conditionals, so review the zero, first, second, and third conditional, and learn how to use expressions that provide alternatives to if, including as long as, provided that, etc. Then, as the teacher, I can send specific slides to my students. For example, this would be the first slide that I would send to start the conversation and to get it going. So in pairs or in groups, the students would discuss which of these do you think are good reasons to sue a company. You can choose as many as you like. And it is very interactive. So the students on the laptops in the classroom are able to choose the right answers. And they would then discuss, the teacher would discuss with the students in groups, in pairs, etc. When it comes to some of these slides, there is the interactive factor. So technology, the aim of using it in the classroom is to get students to be engaged, to be actively involved in the learning. So in this case, the students use their computer and they would drag and drop this into the right slots. Once they have done that, they can press submit and the system automatically checks the answer. If any of the answers are wrong, such as in this case, the teacher can press, or the students can also press show answers, and the right answers are put in the right place. So someone said, do we need to be employed by EF? Yes, in this case, this is an EF-based software. So any students that are part of EF courses, they would have access to this. I wanted to start with this so you get an idea of how EF thinks in terms of technology and where we're going. However, in the next few slides, I'm going to also speak to you about general solutions that you can use in your classroom, even if you are not an EF teacher. So this is EF class. It is a solution that allows students to use laptops in the classroom, to speak with other students, and to work specifically on the skills that they would like to improve. Apart from this, students can also search for specific lessons and go through those lessons to improve the skills that they need. So we have lessons that are on grammar, on vocabulary, on listening, based on what each and every particular student needs to focus on. So let's go back to the slide. Can you see EF class back on your screen? Can you see my PowerPoint? Yes, perfect. Okay. So that was EF class. It uses iPads or it uses laptops. The teacher sends material to students in the class. And there is live feedback for the teacher. So when students send or submit their answers, the teacher gets real live instant results that he can use or that she can use in the classroom to focus on what the students really need. So if the teacher sees that a group of students have a problem with one particular area, the teacher can then divert the lesson to focus on what the students need rather than the general thing that the teacher was going to focus on. So EF class demonstration, I've already shown you. So Would you agree that when it comes to the EF class, for EF students, it's easy to use? It uses devices that the people have. We give them the laptops ourselves. That age or knowledge is not a problem. We have lessons for all different levels. Do you agree that it can deliver big results? And do you agree that it allows group collaboration? I'm asking you about the EF students, yeah? So people that have registered for an EF course and they're in the classroom, the teacher gives them the laptop. Perfect, great system, sure, of course, totally, great. So this is what we have in mind when we mention technology. Those are some points that for a tool to be technologically useful in the classroom, someone needs to say yes to those points. Let's move on. So this is one of the concepts, as I mentioned, that in actuality, it's an EF concept. It's what we call the EF media lessons. However, you can be any teacher in any school, in any situation, and you can come up with your own media lessons, as you will see very shortly. So these EF media lessons complement the EF course books. The students in our school get course books that they use in the classroom. And these course books are available at all the different levels. So from beginner to advanced. The EF media lessons complement these course books, as you will see in the next slide. So over here, I've taken an example from the topic on technology. This topic is catered towards a B2 level, so an upper intermediate class. And every week, there is a different topic. I just picked a topic that was about technology. So the teacher projects this presentation on the computer in the classroom. And as you know, many classrooms have a computer, have a projector where the teacher can project anything. Or there's a laptop, yes, as someone said in the chat. And the teacher starts off the conversation, in this case, by these two questions. So do you recognize any of these pieces of technology? And which do you use every day? The teacher gives the students some time to come up with a discussion. That discussion is then turned into a classroom discussion. So from a pair discussion, turns to a group discussion, which then turns into a classroom discussion. Once that discussion is over, the teacher can just click and go to the next slide. And the teacher asks the students, could you match the words on the left, so the numbers on the left, to the definitions, the letters on the right? The teacher gives the students a few minutes, and the students do that exercise together with someone else, so they work in pairs. They match amateur with the definition, they match algorithm with the definition. When that is done, the teacher just clicks on and shows the results. In a way, we're also saving time instead of the teacher having to write the answers. It's clear, and it also saves a lot of time because the students can just check the answers and feedback is given immediately. Yes, someone said very practical, saving time so much. Exactly. When that is finished, in this case, there's another exercise where the students have to put the words in the correct order. So there are those sentences which are in the wrong order, and in the classroom, in pairs, the students have to put those words in the right order. So you have the first one, Roddy was for used results data. And the students speak, they discuss, and they come up with the right answers. Again, once the exercise is finished, the teacher clicks, goes to the next slide, and shows what the right answers are. So this is what we call an EF media lesson. As I said, even if you are not an EF teacher, even if you don't have EF students, this is something that you can do yourself. You do it once, and it's there for the next group of students at that level. So that's the best thing about it. You do the work once, and you can keep repeating, you can keep using the same thing over and over again. So, it's easy to use? Yes. It's shown directly in the classroom. It uses devices that the people have. Yes, it's shown in the classroom directly. Age or knowledge is not a problem. Yes, it can deliver big results, and it allows for group collaboration. So again, the technology checklist, and as you can see, everyone is saying yes to that. Now, this is another EF idea. It's another EF piece of technology, but again, you can use it with any group, with any student in your specific situation. And the aim with this is to get students to be actively involved in everything that they do. In Malta, in summer, we get students that are between the ages of 12 and 16 years old who come to Malta for a course where there's a combination of activities and academics. So these students have lessons in the morning and activities in the afternoon. And one thing that they do throughout their course is called the EF Action Learning Project. And before I tell you what it is about, I'd like to show you a quick video that really explains what this Action Learning Project is about. But before I do that, if you had to guess, if you had to type into the chat box, what do you think an EF Action Learning Project is about? Could you write a few words? What comes to mind when you hear the words Action Learning Project? I'll give you a few seconds. It's interactive, okay? What do you think happens? I mentioned activities, academics, proactive research, okay. Can I get some more ideas? Games, group, interactive, solving problems. Students perform an activity that will make them use language in real time and in context. Perfect, I like that. Students act, interactive, group work, role play, case study. Okay, good. Good, perfect. Let me show you the quick video so you can get a better idea of what this Action Learning Project is about.
Summer nights, all alive, as we drown in light, we collide, plain sight. Yeah, I know. Summer nights, we come alive, we run the night with strangers. 'Cause in the end, we're all familiar faces. We young and wild, we know the right thing. All alive, baby. I don't need no sleep, 'cause I'm already dreaming. As we drown in, never leave, 'cause I love the beat, I love the feeling. Find myself through wicked night, see you through the moonlight. Oh, I don't need no sleep, 'cause I'm already dreaming, already dreaming.
Okay. So many people are saying exciting, interesting group activities. Yes. Yes, it's the Martin Garrix song. It was the EF song for this summer. The song is called No Sleep, yes. So the students, some people are saying that they can't hear me well. If you can hear me well, can you type yes in the chat box, please, just to make sure that everyone can hear me? Yes. All right, perfect. Sound is good. Awesome. So what this is about, what happens in the EF Action Learning project, is that the students work together when they are in the classroom and outside of the classroom. They take pictures, they take videos, and during some time in the lesson, they have a slot reserved for them to put together this project. At the end of their EF course, they vote for the best video, and the winner, the students that are part of the winning group, get a prize. So it's a competitive kind of task, but it's also something to bring all the students together. So this is the EF Action Learning Project. It is also created in groups of 4 to 5 students, and the students are from different nationalities. That is a key point. We want students to meet new students from different countries with different cultures, etc. And by doing this, it's the perfect way to have students immersed in the EF environment, in an environment where learning English is not just something that you do inside the classroom, but it's something that you take with you outside of the classroom and use in the real world. That is what we want our students to be able to do. So this EF Action Learning Project combines activities and academics. The students vote for the best video, and then the students themselves choose the best video out of all of the videos created. So yes, many people like the idea. Attractive, nice, interesting, good idea. I have students that work together but from different majors. Yes. I mean, students should come from different backgrounds because that is how they can share ideas and experience the different ways of thinking of the different students. As I said, you can use it in any kind of situation. It's a way to have a long-term project, kind of, if you will, for students to do. The students create the video themselves, yes, to answer a question that someone wrote. It is not a professional video, it's something that the students combine together, so they combine their pictures and their videos. They use applications on their mobile phone, free applications, and they put it all together themselves. The teacher helps when needed to recommend the applications, to make sure that it is getting done, but the teacher takes a back view, a back step when it comes to this video. It's all about the students working together to develop this video. Develop cooperation, communication skills. Yes, they learn to work together. Exactly. Yes, that's the main idea of the Action Learning Project. And they are doing a project with this project-based learning. Yes, they are speaking in English, improving their English without it being boring traditional English lessons. We want the students to be, as I said before, and I will keep repeating, the students need to be engaged, need to be active, and this is a great way to do it. It's a very visual kind of project, visual sounds, etc. Okay, let's move on to the next technological tool that we're going to be speaking about. I want to just mention briefly these two applications. These two are EF-based technology. So unless your students are EF students, they will not be able to access this. But as I said before, I want to show you that EF want to focus on technology, and as a result of that, they develop tools that will help the students to become better in English in a more effective way. There are ways how you can do this with your organization, with your students, but as I said, these next two ideas are EF proprietary tools. The first one is called EF Mentor Words, and it's a fact that when you ask students, so why are you studying English? What do you want to get better at? Many of them, or the majority of them, say that I want more vocabulary. It's the sentence, it's the few words that I keep hearing over and over again. And I'm pretty sure that many of you would agree with that. And for that reason, EF created this application. It's an application for mobile devices, and it is called Mentor Words. So this application helps students with vocabulary. And the way it works is that it uses the Oxford Learner's Dictionary to come up with words and phrases. The students do activities, and based on the activities that they do and their level of English, the app will then come up with new vocabulary, with new activities for them to do. So EF Mentor Words helps you learn more, faster. It has a space study scheduling, memorization, learning speed, varied activities generated for each student, 2-minute practice if you just have only a short amount of time, and it adjusts to the learning level. It's an app that learns based on what the student needs. Also, new vocabulary is added every week, so it's being constantly updated with new vocabulary based on what the students need. So this is called EF Mentor Words. It's an app that EF have created for their own students to improve their vocabulary. Another EF app that I want to mention is called EF Mentor Sounds. In addition to vocabulary, the next thing that students really want to get better at is pronunciation. They want to be able to speak clearly, to be understood more. Sometimes we get students from different countries who are desperately trying to say something, but because of their accent, because of the way that they pronounce certain words, even though they are saying the right word, getting other students to understand them is a bit difficult. So pronunciation is always a useful thing. It's always something that students want to be better at. And for that reason, EF also launched EF Mentor Sounds. So this app is about the student's pronunciation. So it helps you, the student, learn the sounds of English. It's personalized to the language that you're learning, so in this case, English. And it links the sounds to the spelling. So it helps also with spelling of English words. There is space studying, there's activities generated for your students. There's also, similar to Mentor Words, 5-minute practice. So if you just have 5 minutes as a student, as you're on the bus or as you're waiting for the lesson to start, you just have a quick session and that improves your pronunciation. So as I said, these two tools, EF Mentor Words and EF Sounds, are EF tools. You need to be an EF student to be able to access these. As I said, you can also take ideas from this and use it with your students, but I just want to make it clear that it is for EF students only. So before we continue, before we go to non-EF based solutions now, in the chat box, I'd like you to write down, from the products that I've mentioned before, which have you found the most interesting and why? I'll give you a couple of seconds. So which was the most interesting idea so far for you and why? So some people are saying the action learning project, the video, yes, it's the most creative. The mentor sounds good. EF action learning project because it fosters collaboration. Yeah, perfect. The fact that they can be used outside of the classroom, yes, and they continue to learn after classes. Exactly. It's good that the students are in the classroom, they're learning for those 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever per day. But at the end of the day, the students spend more time outside of the classroom than inside it. So what they learn in the classroom, they need to be able to take with them into their real life. Yeah. So yes, that's definitely the aim of everything that we do. Some people said EF media lessons, mentor sounds, action learning project. Perfect. Vocabulary. All right, perfect. Thank you for your answers. Thank you. Okay, so shall we continue? Can you type yes if you're ready to continue to the next non-EF based technological tools? Perfect. See out of yeses. All right, let's crack on. So the first couple of non-EF solutions that I'm going to speak to you about are Dropbox and Zoom. Many people are familiar with Dropbox, and Dropbox allows you to store all your teaching documents, your notes, to use in the classroom. This is a screenshot that you can see there from the Dropbox folder I have on my computer. On my iPad, which I use every day in the classroom, I connected my Dropbox account. So basically, when I go into the classroom, when I am teaching, I never take my teacher's book. I never take notes because they are all on my iPad. You can also use Drive, yes, same idea, yeah. Or someone that asked a question, yes. So I have my notes on my Dropbox, and like that, I have everything that I would need right there in the palm of my hand. As you can see, I have 3 folders in my Dropbox folder. I have the general class folder, where I keep all my notes, all the things I want to teach my general class. Then I also have a grammar class, so I have a grammar folder. In the grammar folder, I have it divided based on lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, etc. And then I also have another folder called to print. So in the classroom, I have access to all those documents in the palm of my hand. Now this is how most people use Dropbox, or how most people use Google Drive. It's the same concept. It's an online storage for your documents. But I want to take it a step further, and I want to speak to you about a software called Zoom. It's a free software, and with this software, you can mirror your iPad screen. Let me show you what I mean. So this is what I've just spoken to you about. This is a picture of my iPad, and what you can see. So over here, I have the teacher's notes. So this is how I would set up the activity, how to run it step by step. These are the teacher's notes from the activity itself. Over here, there is the answer. So in this case, it was a crossword puzzle. And let me try to do this. Yeah. And over there, there is the solution to the crossword. On my screen, on my iPad, I have everything I would need. It saves me paper, so I don't have to print the teacher's notes. I don't have to print the answers for each and every activity I have. It's just there in my hands. Now, apart from that, the main benefit is this. So in each classroom, or in most of the classrooms, in every school, I guess, in many places in the world, there is a projector, or there is a computer screen. And what I do is I use this software that I spoke to you about before, which is called Zoom, ZOOM, to mirror the iPad screen. So let's say that we are speaking about food, and I'm running a lesson called Dinner Disaster, which involves these pictures that tell a story. I can do it in multiple ways. If I want to use technology, what I would do is that I would mirror my iPad screen to the classroom television. So imagine that here on the left, I have my iPad. So this is my iPad, which has the pictures from the dinner disaster activity. Over here on the right, this is the computer screen in the class. So whatever is shown on my iPad on the left is mirrored on the TV classroom monitor. The main advantage to that, instead of just giving paper, so we're saving the environment, we're saving the trees, it's a much more cost-effective way than traditional printing. But what I want to speak to you about is that I can also direct students' attention to specific parts, in this case of the picture. As you can see, here I have zoomed in to a specific part of the picture. So let's say that we're doing a vocabulary lesson on things that you find in the kitchen. I can point out that over here in this picture, there is something on this counter. Let's say it's it's a jar of something. On my iPad, I can just zoom to that jar, and the students are able to see exactly what I'm seeing on my iPad, but on the computer screen. Instead of them focusing on everything, I'm getting the students to focus on one specific thing. And to show you that in practice, I just want to show you a quick video of this. So let's see if we manage to make this So as you can see on the left, there's my iPad. On the right, there would be the classroom TV. Okay, that's loading. Okay, not really working. So as you can see, the idea is that whenever I want to focus students' attention to something, I can just pinch my iPad screen. I can zoom in on a specific thing on my screen, and the students can see exactly that thing without losing their attention to something else. Apologies, the video is not really loading correctly. So yes, as some people are saying, they focus on the video that you show on the screen. It's easy to pay attention for the students. Yes, it helps the students to pay attention. It also makes them concentrated, exactly. Yes, that's exactly the right idea. So we're using technology to focus the students' attention. If I give a paper to someone and I tell them, look at picture 5, then in the middle there's a candle, as you can see on your screen. I can easily lose the students. But if I'm just telling the students, look at the computer screen in the classroom, and I'm just showing them exactly what I want them to see, they are more focused on the thing itself. Again, this is something that you can do in your classroom, and it will really make your lessons stand out because the student's attention is there. And where attention goes, the value increases. As you can see, I've just zoomed in on the woman, so I can ask the students, how does the woman feel? What is she feeling at this moment? How would you describe her? Whereas if I had to get the students' attention directed to a picture, a physical paper picture, that would be much more difficult. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. So someone asks, can you connect the students' individual devices in the classroom or just the projected device? Technically, you can connect any device in the classroom because all you would do is run Zoom on both the computer in the classroom and the device that you wanted to connect to, and it will just mirror what is on the iPad screen. Can we do it directly from the tablet to the projector? Zoom needs to be running on the device that is connected to the projector, so there needs to be some kind of computer in the classroom. Unless you have a cable that you can connect directly to your iPad. Those exist as well. But what I'm suggesting here with Zoom and Dropbox doesn't require any cabling, any wiring at all. So, quick demo done. So, Kahoot, I know that some people mentioned this before. If you haven't used this in your classroom before, you're in for a treat. So, Kahoot, in their own words, is a company that brings engagement and fun to more than 1 billion players every year at school, work, and at home. I just want to show you how that would work. So basically, it's a quiz-based platform. Students use their phones, they use laptops or tablets, and they answer questions that you show them on your screen. They have the questions and they have 4 choices. They choose the best answer, the right answer that you would have said before yourself. That is the website view. So you create your own quiz or you choose a quiz about any topic that you want to show to the students. And once you start the Kahoot, all the students need to do, it is free, yes, it's a free software. So they go on Kahoot, they write a code that you give them based on the teacher's view, and then, so they write the code, in this case, it was 544142, This is the view that they see. So on their phone, they just write in that code and they join the Kahoot activity. Then they would see the question and they would just press the button according to the answer that they think is correct. So if it's watch, they would press the red button, etc., etc. It's an activity that students absolutely love, and each and every time that I've run it, it's really effective. It's something that students become so engaged, so excited about it, that it's something that basically works every time. So yeah, most people are saying they really love it, it's exciting. Yes. Someone asked the question, quite an interesting question. Just an idea, could Kahoot be the platform to keep track of vocabulary taught? It could be, yes. So what you could do is, let's say you have a topic every week that you are teaching your students. So let's say that this week's topic is technology. So when you create the PowerPoint that you want to run with your students, you pick the vocabulary that you think the students might find the most difficult, and you create, similar to here, you create sentences, so contexts, in which the vocabulary can be used. And then at the end of the week, as a sort of revision test, you run the Kahoot with that group of students. So they are revising the vocabulary, you are recycling the vocabulary in a fun and an engaging, attractive way for the students. That could be one way how you can use this idea, the Kahoot idea. Another non-EF app that you should definitely try using if you haven't before is one called Lyrics Training. So if you go to lyricstraining.com, this is a website that uses famous songs and allows students to gap fill the lyrics. So it will give them the lyrics of the songs with specific words that are missing. It's a website that works on computers, on smartphones, etc. And students also absolutely love it. It's something that we've used before at EF Malta, and we've had good results with it. There's also a karaoke version of it. So there's the fun, the exciting, the wow factors to it all. I like the comments. I like the guys' comments. Yes, exciting, great. Develops pronunciation, vocabulary. Yes, yes, yes. That is all correct. This will be great for my slang class. Yes. So the website is lyricstraining.com. One other application that students can use either on their own or you can use in the classroom is called Guess Up and Heads Up. If I had to choose, I would go with Guess Up, and you have the website link over there. So it's guessupapp.com. It is seriously good fun, and the games have a language element to them. So we don't just want students to take part in games. There needs to be a language awareness aspect to the games. And the tools that I've mentioned all have this in common. So it's technology. It allows students to learn English in a fun, interactive way. So when it comes to this Guess Up application, the students follow this sequence of steps. So they choose a category, they place the phone vertically on their forehead so that others can see the screen, and they start playing. The classmates must act out, must describe the word on the screen. If it's wrong or if they don't know it, they flip the phone up and they go to the next word. So this is how to skip to the next word. If correct, there's another action. Yeah. So it's a great way to revise vocabulary, similar to Kahoot. This would usually be done in smaller groups, whereas Kahoot, it's done in groups, but it's done as a whole classroom activity. Definitely something that you should look into. It's free. It's something that students just download on their phone. And it's also a great idea to use as a filler if you need to fill some time in the lesson and to revise, recycle, etc., the vocabulary that you would have done in that particular week or on that particular topic. So, questions for you. I know we've spoken about a lot of ideas, and I hope that you've taken notes that you will actually use these ideas. In the chat box, I would like to know two things. Number one, which of the ideas did you like most? And number two, when specifically are you going to use them in your classroom? In the chat box, can you answer those two questions? So lyrics training immediately, Kahoot, guess up, EF class, good. I'll use them in my language center, good. Side with music lyrics. They add surprise, fun factor, perfect, yes. I will try them both before Christmas. Yes, I mean Christmas and all other festive occasions are a great way to use these to revise vocabulary, to have a topical lesson that is appropriate for that time. I like Zoom. I would like to teach verb tenses. Good. Yes, if you have any kind of pictures that you want to use in the classroom and you want to avoid printing them because it doesn't make sense for one reason or another, the Zoom and Dropbox idea works really well. Guess up is a closure of the unit of work. Yes, Kahoot. Vocab. Yes, perfect. I used to start the lesson or end the lesson. Yeah. Vocabulary, Kahoot. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So, when it comes to everything we've said, first of all, I really want to thank you. You've been a great audience, each and every one of you. Thanks for the constant feedback that you've given me. Do you have any questions about anything we've spoken about today? I'll use them. Thank you. It was clear. Thank you. Yes, many people are saying I'm certain I will use them. Yes, that is my hope for you. When I was preparing these slides, that was my aim, that by the end of this presentation, you would have concrete, specific ideas that you can use in your classroom as of tomorrow, unless you can do it today. That would be really amazing. To make use of technology to develop and to give better lessons. Yes. Some of the apps are free, some of them are not. Someone is asking. Okay. Perfect. So at the beginning, I mentioned that you need to go to a link to have proof of attendance. That is the link where you need to go. So when you click on that link, you will have to answer one question. And the question is that on the screen. Which of these products is not produced by EF? So you have Kahoot, you have MentorWords, and you have EF Class. So go to that link, which we will put into the chat box, and answer the question there. That is your proof of attendance. Let's just put the link there.